This is not what I wanted. I cannot believe it has now gotten to the point where I do not even know who it is that I am speaking to anymore. I do not know whether I am speaking to the Christ God or to Odin. All I know is that Kattegat does not feel like my home anymore. Ever since my father, it just has not felt the same. The people do not respect me anymore. Something has changed. The Ancient One said that I would not be the same when I returned. And he was right. I have changed to the point that people do not even recognize me. I know wherever I go and my family are with me, that will be a good enough home for me. I am sure of it. So to whoever's listening, please, I need help. Well, Gorm. What do you want, Gomnar? Leave me be.
What do I want? I think it is a case of what the village wants. They no longer wish you to be here.
Oh? And who says that, Gomnar?
Everyone. Everyone at the mead house. Everyone in the streets. Everyone at the fish market. They all say that your family is a curse.
Careful, Gomnar. I am not in the mood for games.
Neither am I. I have seen firsthand. The moment you came back to the village, a sickness came with you. Our children are old, are sick. They are all dead. They are all dead, are they? Then why is your elderly mother still alive? Perhaps because I take better care than you did with your father. Watch your tongue! I was not here to look after my father. Then perhaps it was your wife and child who finished him off.
Gomnar, leave now.
Why? So that you can sit here and continue to contemplate how best to curse the village who did not look after your father? To take your revenge on all of us? To place the sickness on everyone else? Or is it truly not you? Maybe it is your family. Maybe it is your daughter. You are a curse. I couldn't. I had to. He... Oh no. It makes 2 men that I have killed in the village. They will kill me for sure now. We have to leave. We have to leave. They will blame my family. They will blame it on this curse. I need to go. We need to go. If my daughter was a curse, Gunnar, why is it that my wife and my child lie sick in bed, and I was the one who was left? Curse you. May you forever wander outside of Valhalla's halls. May you never see the inside of its splendor. There are my 2 ladies. Hello, my love. You feeling any better? I know. Shh. Rest your voice. It must be so painful to speak. I did bring some bread, but I don't think that maybe both of you would not like to eat right now. I'll put it on the table. I made some stew. I wasn't sure what you would both like. I know you like stew, Seeker. I know you do. I am fine, my love. I ran into Gunnar when I was out there. What did he have to say? He had a lot to say. I don't think he was aware that you 2 were sick. But it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter. He doesn't matter right now. You 2 are all that matters to me now. I am fine, my child. Daughter, Sigrun, I'm fine. I know I am worried. But you know something? Even gods like Thor get nervous. Scared. Yes, even Thor. The mightiest warrior will be a liar if they tell you that they have never been afraid. It's fear that keeps you alive, Sieglin. As I'm sure your mother would agree. Fear keeps you focused. How was Thor afraid? Well, perhaps not afraid in the context of what I speak, but definitely nervous. All we can ever do is try our best, no matter how we feel. You don't understand. Alright, perhaps if I tell you a story, it might explain it a little better. Alright. Well, you see, long ago, Thor was tired of people not taking him seriously. So he journeyed to Jotunheim, the land of giants, to try and prove himself. Not just to others, but also to himself. He felt fear that people wouldn't take him seriously, respect him enough. And I guess he was right. No, nothing. Anyway, Thor journeyed to this land of giants and happened upon a truly enormous giant who slept with his head on a hill. So Thor, who knew that the gods and the giants were long old enemies, decided to take Mjolnir, the mighty hammer he had, and he brought it down as hard as he could upon the sleeping giant's forehead. The giant woke with a start and looked around. And to Thor's horror, he said, "Oh, I guess an acorn must have struck me in the head." Thor just stood, open-mouthed, aghast at what the giant said. The giant then noticed Thor, standing there open-mouthed, and he said, "Hail to you, Thor of Asgard. What brings you here?" And Thor, not wishing to sound foolish, said, "I have come to prove my strength, not just to others, but to myself, that I am a wise, fierce warrior." And so the giant invited him to the giant's tavern, and he told all the giants of Thor and what he hoped to achieve. And so the giant challenged him to a drinking competition. He produced a mead horn, and in one gulp consumed the whole horn. No, my child, it was not a normal yak-sized horn. It was a giant horn made for giants. Anyway, the giant swigged it down in one go, and the giant gave a mead horn to Thor, just as equally giant. The horn was at least twice the size of Thor himself, but not wishing to seem intimidated, he picked it up, and he gulped, and he gulped, and he gulped, but no matter how much he gulped down the liquid inside, it never seemed to get any smaller. And the giants laughed, and by the time Thor thought he could not drink a single drop more, he put down the horn, and he saw to his shock that the liquid within had only receded a few inches. The cup still looked full, and the giants continued to laugh, and Thor was furious. He shouted at the top of his lungs, "I did not come here for a drinking competition. I came here to fight To prove my strength as a warrior, I came here to wrestle, to fight. And the giants started to look nervous because they knew that if they fought Thor, they would most likely be killed. But the giant, whose forehead Thor had struck, had another idea. You wish to fight Thor, Odin's son? Well, fight her. And he pointed to an old hag sitting in the corner of the drinking house, staring into the flames of the great fire. Thor scoffed. The woman was about the same height as him. She was not a giant by any means. She looked so old and decrepit as she sat with her tiny eyes fixed upon the fire that Thor looked at the giant and said, "Are you serious?" The giants looked at each other and began to snicker and laugh under their breath. "Well, you should make quick work of this old hag then, won't you, Thor?" And Thor scoffed. And as the old woman got to her feet and the giants said, "Begin," the old hag lunged at Thor. She pinned him to the ground, pulled his arm behind his back, and pinned him to the floor. And even though Thor had fought very valiantly, the old woman pinned him once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 7 times, 8 times. The old hag had won the wrestling match. Do you know the moral of this story, young secret? And as a matter of interest, do you know the moral of the tale, my love? No? Thor actually did a lot better than he thought he did. Even though he was disappointed and fearful that he would never achieve the kind of greatness that he had in his mind, he did a lot better than he thought. Well, young secret, the giant saw Thor approaching with his hammer while he slept on that hill. So he placed a magical barrier between his head and the hill beneath. So when Thor struck his hammer upon his head, even though he did not feel anything, if Thor had simply looked at the hill that he slept on, he would have seen a crater 15 miles wide. And a drinking competition. Little did Thor know that the horn that he was sipping his mead from was actually connected to the very seas themselves. So, drinking a few inches from the top of the horn meant that he had taken a few inches off of the entire oceans of the world. And the old woman. Again, it was just a magic trick, my love. Because you see, the giants were very gifted with magic and concealed the fact that Thor was fighting time and old age herself. No giant could have lasted as long as Thor had against the old hag time. So you see, my child, Thor did a lot better, despite him not feeling it within himself. What did Thor do when he realized all of these were tricks. A story for another time, perhaps. For now, Sigrun, you have to get to sleep. You want me to sing? Oh, no, not you too, my love. Rest for now, my child. All right? I will give you a song another time. I just need to talk with your mother, all right? Come on, to bed with you. Oh, there we go. You're getting so heavy. It's like lifting Mjolnir. I know you are sick, my child. It is not nice to feel sick when you want to have much fun and enjoyment, is it? All right, into bed. Don't tell your mother, but I put a bit of mead in your water. It might help you sleep. I love you, Sigrun. Well, that did not take long. She is already so weak and tired. I look worried. Well, of course I'm worried. I am worried that with so many people with the sickness who aren't getting better, I am worried that I will wake one morning and find that she will never wake from her sleep. What do you mean you are not talking of that? What else could I possibly be worried about? I see. I see there is no hiding anything from you, my love. Gunnar found me near the beach. I was trying to keep to myself. You know I was. I don't want to cause any more trouble. But he came at me and he would not stop. He would not try. He would not stop trying to get a response from me. And I knew that if I didn't stop him, then he would spread this to the rest of the town. The whole town already thinks we are a curse because I brought back whatever curse was in England. What did I do? He won't be an issue anymore. Yes, I killed him. And I would not know what to do if someone took you away, took Sigrun away. I would not be able to survive. You have been there for me so many times, even when we were children. I love you more than anything, my love. What is wrong? You do not wish to pass the sickness on to me. My love, I have been around a long time in this village without being sick. I don't think that I will be getting sick anytime soon. Very well. What is it? Sigrun? Oh no. Is she having another of her bad dreams? No. Don't even think about moving. You stay here. Try and get some sleep. I have some stew here for you if you are hungry. It's nice and warm, so it will warm your bones. Good night, my love.
get some sleep, and I will see you in the morning. All right, Sigrun. All right, I am coming. Sigrun. Sigrun, my child. Sigrun, wake. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You are just having a bad dream. You are safe. Everything is all right. Everything is fine. You are home. You are safe. I won't let anything happen to you. Perhaps you just wanted a song, after all. It's all right. Calm down. It's all right. All right. I will sing for you. Just try and get back to sleep. You will not have the same night visions twice, believe me. This time it will be all good things. I promise. Oh yes. You cannot have the same bad dream twice. Let's see if I remember how it went.
A howling wolf in midnight woods may dream of a long restful slumber, but hunger gnaws at his too wolfish mood. His burrows cold, snowed deep under. Oh wolf, don't you come near. You'll never get my baby. Oh wolf, don't you come here. However starved you may